Before I explain how we can quickly set up such a Vue.js workflow and what the features of such a workflow are, I want to dive into the question, what should such a workflow have and what could be the improvements such a workflow offers us? I would argue it should have a build process which kind of optimizes our code, which means, for example, that we are able to write ES6 code, so next JavaScript versions code, and that it gets compiled to ES5, so that we can use all the cool new features of ES6 and still have code which runs in the browser. I would also say that we need a development server. And now this is something which causes some confusion, because you would say, well, Vue.js runs in the browser. Why would I need a development server? You have to think of it like this. It runs on the client, but in the end, if you visit a page which uses Vue.js, it gets served by a server anyways. That is how the internet works. It's not lying on your machine. You have to fetch it from some server eventually. And therefore, we want to test under such circumstances. The file protocol, which we use when we double click on an HTML file, does not have the same specifications and features the HTTP protocol has. So we want to access our Vue.js through HTTP. And for that, we will need a server, even if it's running on our machine, but we will need a server which is able to understand HTTP. So we are able to test under more realistic circumstances. Additionally, we might have a project where we're not loading all the files at startup, because yes, we might have a bundle with our code, but later in the course, we will get to projects where we lazily load certain parts. So where we say only if we visit a certain section or part of our application, only then we want to load the associated script files or whatever. In such a case, you also need a server, otherwise there is no, well, fetching after the initial loading possible. So these are all cases why we need such a server. We're not going to write any server-side code. We will use a development server which is provided to us, so we're not going to write our own server code, we're not going to write our own Node Express server or something like that. We will use a finished, lightweight development server. I will come back to this in the next videos, but this server is then able to host and offer our application. It will also give us some additional benefits like auto reloading and so on if it's configured properly, and it will be configured properly in the setup I'm showing you. So that are all some benefits why we might want to use a development server and why I will use one throughout the rest of this course.